Well, good morning, everybody. If it's all right with the team, I'll begin. And just welcome. So delighted to have for Kolmac Outpatient Recovery join us again in Prince George's County. And I'm excited. The more I read about Kolmac, the more it's so timely that they're here coming to Prince George's County. I'm just amazed that in 1973, Kolmac has served over 30,000 men and women in helping them recover from alcohol and other addictions. And that's a service to the community because we don't know the circumstances whereby someone might just look to these unfortunate drugs and alcohol to think that they could solve their problems. But thank goodness that there's an outlet like Kolmac who is coming to Prince George's County to really begin to address issues that sometimes overwhelm us. And so, Kolmac, we are so delighted that you are once again coming to Prince George's County. And we are happy as President and CEO of the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. I'm so happy that you're becoming a member of our family. By the way, my name is David Harrington, and I am happy to be the President and CEO of the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. And so being located in Lanham, Maryland, we think that is a perfect spot to be in Prince George's County. And so we are very, very happy that you are here. Without any further ado, I see that Senator Prince Van Hollen has joined us. And Senator Van Hollen, I would say, is a dear friend to not only the state of Maryland, to Prince George's County, but also to me. He is an outstanding advocate for business and working people. He has joined us in a time when the Senate is truly engaged in making sure that another stimulus package is passed and that it helps businesses in Prince George's County. And so without any further remarks, I ask you to welcome my friend, a friend to the state and a friend to the county, Senator Chris Van Hollen. Senator?
Well, thank you, David. Can you hear me okay?
We hear you fine, Senator.
All right. First, let me thank you and the Prince George's County Chamber of Commerce for convening us today for this important occasion, but also for your ongoing work to make sure that Prince George's County is a thriving place to live and work, and that we support the business community and make sure they can extend opportunities to more and more people in the county. And of course, as we're experiencing COVID-19, we are not only struggling to defeat the spread of the virus, but we have to deal with the economic fallout. So David, I want to thank you and your team and the county executive and members of the county council, as well as the state legislative delegation and others who are working to make sure that we can weather this storm. And I will say at the federal level, we've been working for over 2 months to try to get a vote in the United States Senate to pass what's called the HEROES Act. That's the legislation that passed the House of Representatives, again, 2 months ago, and contains badly needed additional relief for Maryland and the rest of the country. We're going to be working very hard in the next few weeks to enact that. Many of the key provisions are expiring in a matter of days and weeks. And we really need to pass that both for the fight against the virus, but also to deal with those families and workers and businesses who are struggling. Today is, of course, a good day in that we are welcoming the Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Center in Lanham. I wish I could join all of you in person. I look forward to coming out and visiting the recovery center when the pandemic passes. I do want to acknowledge Dr. Kolodner and your team there for your longtime commitment to helping those with substance use disorders, helping them recover and providing treatment. And we're glad you're bringing this outpatient Recovery Center to Prince George's County, because as we continue to deal with the COVID-19 pandemic, we're also continuing to struggle with the ongoing substance abuse disorder issues, which of course have been made even more acute by the opioid epidemic. And it's really important that we work together to both, first of all, on prevention, but then on treatment and recovery. And so I want to thank the Recovery Center for making a home in Lanham. And what we see in Prince George's County is really very much the story we see around the country, which is that the pandemic of COVID-19 is continuing to be accompanied by the substance use disorder epidemic, especially the opioid epidemic. We all know that there are no simple answers to these challenges, but this outpatient recovery center will be an important part of our response. If you look nationally, last year we saw 71,000 deaths around the country, and unfortunately Maryland and Prince George's County were no exception. In fact, we see 2020 shaping up to be even deadlier year, partly because so many people are isolated at home and don't have the ability to reach out and ask for help. What we see nationally is an increase in drug overdose deaths, and in Prince George's County, as everyone on this call knows better than anybody, we've seen a doubling so far this year. So that makes this moment even more urgent, and it makes the outpatient recovery center even more important. I will say that in addition to legislation that we passed back in 2018, the Patients and Communities Act, which was a comprehensive piece of federal legislation that did pass with bipartisan support, we are working as part of the next emergency COVID response bill, CARES 2 or CARES 4, depending on how you count. We're working to try to include additional federal funds to deal with substance use disorders and mental health issues as a critical part of our emergency response. So thank all of you for what you're doing to help our residents, both during the pandemic and also those who are struggling with different addictions, including opioid addiction. And we need to fight this on all fronts. And the opening of the Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Center is part of that effort. So thank you again, David, for the opportunity to say a few words. And thank all of you who are part of this effort to respond in a smart and effective way.
Well, Senator, we really appreciate you taking time out in your schedule. I know it's a hotbed right now on Capitol Hill, and you're fighting the good fight, and we're here to support you. And certainly, thank you for your remarks about Kolmac. I couldn't agree more that right now, more than ever, Kolmac is needed in our community to provide that safe place, that safe haven, when people are being so challenged today to try to figure out what the future is going to look like. And so it's places like Kolmac that we need in our communities, and in such a community asset that people can go to get treatment for a variety of issues. But so certainly thank you for your support, Senator, and keep up the great work that you're doing on the Hill and your leadership, and we certainly appreciate you.
Well, thank you. And again, thank you, David. Thank the Chamber of Commerce. And thank all of you for being part of this effort. Dr. Kolodner, thank you and your team. And I do apologize. You said, David, we just had a couple votes and we have some more coming up. And so I'm going to have to sign off. But yeah, thank you all very much for what you're doing.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for joining us today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And we have other elected officials who I'll announce early, but I just wanted to acknowledge them right now. We have DCAO of Economic Development, who is representing the county executive today, Angie Rogers, who will speak in a moment. We have Council Member Jolene Ivy, whose district Kolmac will be residing. And so thank you, Councilwoman Ivy, for being here. We have the President and CEO of the Economic Development Corporation, David Iannucci, who's here as well, a good friend of the Chamber. We're working together to make sure that the economy in Prince George's County remains strong. And then we have a representative from Ben Cardin's office, certainly a colleague of Senator Van Hollen, Jared Hawkins, who will also be greeting us on behalf of Senator Cardin, who's also a very senior member on the finance team and working hard in bringing about a relief package that will be helping all businesses. So with that, I'd like to bring forward then now representing wonderful county executive from Prince George's County who has been demonstrating outstanding leadership during this time of crisis. And she couldn't have picked a better person to be the Deputy Administrative Officer for Economic Development. I feel like that we are tied at the hip in many ways in so many meetings that we've had, and delighted to be part of a task force where we're looking ahead of COVID to make sure that our economy is intact. And so I want to introduce DCAO for Economic Development, Angie Rogers. Angie, welcome.
Thank you, David, and good morning, everybody. And I certainly send greetings on behalf of County Executive Angela Also Brooks. I know she would have loved to be here with us, but obviously these are strange times that we are living in, and lots of competing agendas. But, you know, I know that she would love to welcome also having this new resource in the county. And she is very much looking forward to the work that we will do over the long term with the Kolmac team. So on behalf of the county executive, I want to welcome this new resource to the county as well. We are excited about the impact of this on two fronts. And first, obviously, on the public health front. As many residents struggle with behavioral health issues, including substance use, Senator Van Hollen mentioned the opioid epidemic that's affected so many families across the county and also across the country. But particularly during COVID, there's been a very visible physical health impact as a result of COVID. And we've also seen a very visible economic impact. But the behavioral health impact is one of those that can be hidden from at least the public view. And so we're excited to have this new business in the county to help us meet the needs of our residents who were struggling before, but particularly as we've seen as a result of COVID, that those struggles have been heightened for many of our families. We're also excited on the economic development front. So I am the DCAO for economic development, and so I'd be remiss to not just sort of acknowledge that this is a new business opening in our county. We have strong goals for increasing commercial activity in the county. And so this opening is important to us on that front as well. So I just want to, welcome Kolmac and just emphasize that we are looking forward to this long-term partnership that we hope will really improve the lives, the quality of life for Prince George's County residents. Thank you, David.
No, thank you, Angie. And you're so right. Where sometimes our social service apparatus gets minimized, right? We talk about public safety, we talk about education. Those are extremely important, but it's also having a social service network that is so important, particularly in times of crisis. And you noted that. And so part of our economic development has to make sure that we have social service networks and and parachutes where people can go to when in fact they feel like they're left out. A lot of people haven't gotten their unemployment checks and still in trouble. And having something like Kolmac in Prince George's County is so needed to just have an outlet where people can go. So thank you for your support, and thank you for your leadership in helping us reimagine our economy in a way that's during this crisis. So thank you for being here today. Really appreciate you. So next is Councilwoman Jolene Ivy. I feel like I've known Jolene Ivy since I've moved to Prince George's County. Jolene, don't go there. Don't go there. I've known her since her kids were little babies, and now I see pictures of them getting married, and
and yours too.
Right?
It's exciting.
I know it is exciting, and and for all those on the Kolmac team, you reside in Councilwoman Ivy's district, and you couldn't have a stronger advocate on the county council than Councilwoman Ivy. And so I have to remind myself to call her Councilwoman Ivy, because I'm about to say, okay, Jolene, you're next, but
that would be fine, David.
But Jolene, thank you for being here today, and certainly want you to bring greetings on behalf of certainly yourself and the county council.
No, thank you so much, and welcome Kolmac to Lanham and to District 5. We might be virtual today, but it is still a ribbon cutting, and I want to make sure that I acknowledge where you are and where you're opening. So, and I think what's important to know is that reliable and credible estimates say that 12 to 13% of Americans meet the diagnostic criteria for alcohol use disorder. And, my father was one of those people back in the day. He did eventually join Alcoholics Anonymous. It really helped him. And he quit drinking, and it was a blessing, but it wasn't easy. And I'm sure it would have been easier had he started earlier and if he'd had services like yours to support him. But I grew up my entire life until I was out of college before he got that help. So the services you provide here in Lanham and elsewhere are really needed. So we're glad that you're here. We wish it weren't so necessary. And right now, things are just unprecedented is the word we all keep using, because things are so kind of off the chain, whether it's health-wise, justice-wise, politically. So these are crazy times, and we need to give more support to people. Our county executive, Angela Also-Brooks, she stated last month that 70% of the people arrested in Prince George's County are intoxicated when they're taken to jail. 70%. And an estimated a third suffer from mental health problems. So these are serious issues that have a nexus with our criminal justice system, and they shouldn't. This is a public health crisis. And so we've criminalized what is a disease, and instead we need referral and treatment. So as we reevaluate the role of policing in Prince George's County, we really have to incorporate treatment as a first option and not criminalize what is a personal and public health crisis. I know that the county executive's putting a lot of effort and money into that, and for that I am appreciative. But that's why Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Center services are so important, not just to the families and individuals that you serve, but to the entire community. And we're really glad that you're here to help. Thank you so much.
Jolene, thank you so much. And I remember your dad. Wasn't he a Tuskegee Airman?
No, he was a Buffalo soldier.
Buffalo soldier, I knew that.
Yeah,
Buffalo,
the Tuskegees flew above, but the Buffaloes were around.
Spoken like a true ground soldier, right?
Yes, indeed.
No, I remember your dad, and thanks for sharing that. That's a good personal story. The Kolmac, my grandfather too was alcoholic, and if it wasn't for that safety support system, he moved up in the postal system and became a supervisor, but he always remembered that if it wasn't for that support system, he never would have been able.
Oh, if my father had had the support while he was in the military, he would have retired then as a captain. He kept getting knocked back.
Wow.
Alcoholism.
Mm-hmm. So Kolmac, you're providing a service where people can realize their dreams if they get the kind of intervention that they need. So Jolene, thank you for sharing that story. Really appreciate you, and continue the good fight that you're waging on the county council.
Thank you so much, David.
All right, take care. Next we have good friend and someone who working with all the time on trying to reimagine what our economy is going to look like in Prince George's County, and who's not only looking at Prince George's County, but the region, and who has deep knowledge in not only in what's going on in Prince George's County, but the state, the region, and also at the national level. So I want to introduce David Iannucci, the president and CEO of the Economic Development Corporation. David, how are you?
Fine, David. Thank you very much. I'm really thrilled to have the chance to welcome Dr. Kolodner and Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Center to Prince George's County. You're an important addition to the comprehensive provision of health care to our citizens. One of our challenges in Prince George's County, something the county executive also, Brooks, I know feels very strongly about, is we don't want our citizens to have to travel out of the county for critical medical services. Been operating in a number of our surrounding counties, Anne Arundel, Howard, and Montgomery, I believe, as well. So you're adding your services, Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Services of Prince George's County, joining our soon-to-be new University of Maryland Teaching Hospital that will provide specialty care that we've never had offered in Prince George's County. Joining just last week, Children's Hospital opened a center in Prince George's County, providing their of care for children in Prince George's County. Kaiser is expanding its local facilities. You are part of a growing center in Prince George's County to provide the highest quality of medical care, outpatient services, behavioral services, and obviously the classic medical care to our citizens, so they don't have to get on metro, so they don't have to get on cars and drive around the Beltway for critical medical care. So I'm really thrilled on behalf of the Prince George's County Economic Development Corporation to welcome you to our business community, and we're thrilled to the employees that you will bring to Prince George's County, to the jobs that you're going to bring to our citizens in Prince George's County, but more important, wearing my economic development hat, but my hat as a citizen of Prince George's County. You're adding to the quality of medical services that are available to our citizens. And for that, we are all very, very grateful. So thank you very, very much.
David, those are great remarks, and all of you. You're looking at the connection between the hospital, Children's Hospital that just opened up over there at Woodmore Town Center, and to have this now in our community where people don't have to travel is a great point. And that shows the distinctiveness of Prince George's County, how we're building this healthcare nexus, if you will, of right in our backyard of having these kinds of support. So David, thanks for raising that point in a way where not only is having Kolmac come to Prince George's County part of our health apparatus, but it's part of our economic development. And so that is a great point. Thank you for being here today. Really appreciate you. And next we have a representative from Senator Van Carden's office, Jared Hawkins. And Jared's no stranger to the county. He's been involved for many, many years. And Jared, want to welcome you to this conversation.
Thank you, David, and good morning to everyone. Again, my name is Jared Hawkins. I am the liaison to Prince George's County in Senator Cardin's office. And so I just wanted to, send greetings and congratulations to Kolmac and Dr. Kolodner for coming back to the county, providing the services that we know that are very necessary. On a personal note, my grandfather, he struggled with alcoholism. I've had family members who have struggled with substance abuse. Some have been able to overcome it, some have not. So this today means a lot to me, and I'm pretty sure a lot, to you all. So it's good to see Councilmember Ivy. I run into you often digitally. It's good to see David, who we have conversations. David, I knew we have conversations probably once or twice a month about where Prince George's County is economically. and also DCAO Rogers, who has been leading a pretty good fight in maintaining our economic standing and making sure that people are getting what they need as far as workforce development, and businesses are getting what they need to stay afloat and keeping their people employed. I'm not going to say too much more. I do have a certificate. It's my understanding that we're going to present them later on, or should I do it now?
Well, we could do it later on.
Okay. Okay. So with that said, congratulations, Dr. Kolodner and everyone with Kolmac, and look forward to seeing how you all continue to impact Prince George's County and help people.
Thank you, Jared. Really appreciate that. That's so true. And thank you very much. Next, we'll move to now the Kolmac team. And Jennifer, I can't say enough about Jennifer. She is truly, she's represents you well, Kolmac. And we've had great correspondence with her and setting this agenda. So Jennifer, I just wanted to say thank you to you, and really appreciate you for your community outreach, and looking forward to working with you in so much of a larger scale. And I just want to say to the Kolmac team, I've been doing these kinds of ribbon cutting for a long time. As you can imagine, I've been with the chamber, believe it or not, for 9 years. I have rarely seen representatives from 2 United States senators show up, the county council person show up, someone from the county executive show up, someone from the Economic Development Corporation show up. And so I hope you see that we are welcoming you in a way with open arms. And so thank you so much. And Jennifer, really appreciate your leadership in helping put this together. Also want to recognize Greg Franklin, the clinical director, and I'm sure Greg will be working with you as well. And I understand that we have some remarks from Belinda Shaw, Dr. Belinda Shaw, I should say, who is the medical director of mental health services with Behavioral Health Division. So Dr. Shaw.
Hello, thank you for having me to the Kolmac team, as well as all of the individuals on the planning committee. I'm just privileged to be in the presence of this group that you just described. So my name is Dr. Belinda Shaw. I'm the medical director for mental health services at the Prince George's County Health Department. I come on behalf of our health officer, Dr. Ernest Carter, as well as Dr. George Askew, the Deputy Chief Administrative Officer overseeing health, who both serve at the pleasure of Madam County Executive Elsa Brooks. And I'm well aware of the needs that our community has and what needs to be done as far as that work. And I'm just so thankful that the Kolmac Clinic is joining us here and doing that work. I did all of my training as a psychiatrist in Baltimore, in Baltimore City. And so I've always known the Kolmac Clinic to be a premier treatment organization whenever I needed someone to get the best substance use disorder treatment in Baltimore. And with the opioid epidemic coming to national attention and the suicides and deaths of despair increasing in the last several years, behavioral health and substance use has really taken the center stage, and we now get to sit at the big people's table in the healthcare arena as physicians and helpers. And the Kolmac Clinic has always been a regional staple in making sure that we are staying innovative and integrating mental health and substance use disorder as this national attention has continued to grow. The Kolmac Clinic has been the originator of the intensive outpatient treatment program level of care. And I think that's especially important now as we know how important natural supports are for people to get better. And we just know that it's important during COVID. And we know that our treatment facilities have sometimes had to decrease their capacity due to COVID, and the demand is increasing. So just knowing that we're going to have, again, in Prince George's County, the inventors of the intensive outpatient treatment program here in our county to serve in this way is just so important. And as far as innovation, Kolmac has quickly moved to a rapid access virtual delivery system. And especially during this time period, having people be able to enter care in a quick way and be able to start on withdrawal management so rapidly and to still maintain that standard of practice with the urine drugs and urine drug screens. We're just so thankful to have a quality, but innovative quality team here. And Dr. Kolodner is a psychiatrist. We do also know how so important the mental health component of all of this is. And when we were thinking about substances being a moral failing in the past, and that led to the criminal justice system, if you will, diversion into the criminal justice system for these people that really need public health and health related services, that just knowing that we will have a program that will provide the much needed integrated mental health components to get at the core root of what's going on with people is so, so important. So although we were already in this behavioral health epidemic that's been exacerbated by COVID-19, and we just know that Black and brown people were disproportionately affected in this, and I'm sure as we'll see what happens with the data, but I suspect that will continue with the behavioral health effects of COVID-19 as well. I just want to thank Dr. Kolodner and the Kolmac Clinic for coming to the center of Prince George's County and expanding your work to our residents.
Great, thank you, Dr. Shaw, and I want to personally thank you for your leadership. And please pass this on to your team of how you have helped the county get through and getting through COVID. And so what you're doing and the briefings have been very, very helpful. And so I appreciate that and appreciate your work in the health department. And please pass on my best to the director.
Thank you. I will pass it on to Dr. Carter. Okay,
sounds good. Thank you very much. So next we're going to have the founder, Dr. George Kolodner, who we're just so excited again to have Kolmac in Prince George's County, and your work and your vision to help people who sometimes go off a different pathway, and to provide a sense of trying to correct that in a way of realizing dreams is so inspirational. So Dr. Kolodner, I want to thank you for your leadership in providing them this resource, which I love what others have said, that is now in our backyard, where people don't have to travel outside of Prince George's County any longer. They could go right to a community asset that's there and that's ready to help them. So we'd like to have some remarks from the founder, Dr. George Kolodner, if you would join us, please.
Certainly. Thank you very much, David. And I appreciate all of you being here today to help us mark the opening of our Kolmac office in Prince George's County. I want to not only thank you, but also say why I think it's important that you're here. One of the major obstacles that we face in trying to get effective treatment for people struggling with alcohol and drug problems is stigma, which can be a significant obstacle for people seeking treatment. I think whenever well-regarded public officials stand up in a visible way that's supportive of treatment, this helps reduce the stigma. I also want to say why it's important that we're opening this office in Lanham, to echo what's already been said. Treatment for substance use disorders is as effective as treatment for other chronic illnesses, such as diabetes. And I appreciate that three of our speakers have referred to positive experiences with this in their personal lives. The problem is that effective treatment is often not accessible to the people that need it because of fundamental obstacles, such as location. So by making our program more convenient to reach, we reduce one more obstacle to accessing treatment. Making accessibility a priority has been embedded in the founding of the Kolmac program 46 years ago, when, as Belina mentioned, we devised the first effective outpatient treatment approach. Previous to that time, reliably effective treatment for people struggling with alcohol and drug problems was only available in an inpatient setting, which was not feasible for many who needed to maintain their work and family responsibilities. Being able to access effective withdrawal management and rehabilitation in an outpatient setting removed this inpatient barrier, and the Kolmac treatment model that originated here in Maryland has now become a mainstream treatment model across the entire country. Jumping forward to the present, the COVID epidemic created a new obstacle for treatment, and Kolmac addressed this by quickly converting to a fully online telehealth format. Over the past 4 months, we've admitted over 670 patients. Of those, management for physical withdrawal symptoms was provided for over 190. which may be the largest number in the country of people who've received outpatient detoxification during the pandemic. I heard the reference from Senator Van Hollen about funds, but welcome as funds are, for anyone out there with the power to influence the situation, I can tell you that our ability to use telehealth is only became possible because of a relaxation of regulations, which really unduly hampered the development of telehealth services. My concern is that these regulations could be reinstated prematurely and prevent us from continuing to provide the kind of services that we've learned to provide. So anyone who has some influence over that, there's movement within the medical community trying to prevent that return of those regulations. And one final piece, just by that I didn't know about that David Iannucci mentioned, the University of Maryland Training Hospital. I'm actually a clinical professor at the University of Maryland, and just this week we spoke to a part of that university that just got a $1.3 million federal grant to provide interdisciplinary training for people who want to treat people with alcohol and drug problems. And we are one of the training sites for both the psychiatric nurse practitioners and for social workers for that program. So again, I really appreciate your warm welcome and look forward to working with the Prince George's team.
Dr. Kolodner, I think that's very important. And one of the services that the Chamber does provide is advocacy and on policy. And so both on in the state, national, and also local level. And so love to work with you and your team to make sure that the policies and covering is in place for you to really do extensive work in the county. So we really appreciate you being here in the county, but also want to provide that level of advocacy where we're meeting the need in a very direct way. So thank you we really appreciate you being here, and thank you for your leadership in founding in starting this great organization.
Thank you very much.
All right, so it's time for the proclamation and certificate, and then we're going to get to the ribbon cutting. It's my favorite part of the program. And Jared, if you would, why don't you go ahead and present the proclamation that you have from Senator Cardin.
Sure thing, David. Not sure if I'll just read it off. I don't think I'll be able to get in the screen. So it says, U.S. Senator Benjamin L. Cardin, certificate of special recognition presented to Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Centers on the occasion of congratulations to Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Centers on all your growth and new membership into the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. Additionally, thank you for your service and helping those through the painstaking journey of recovering from addiction. Signed by Senator Ben Cardin on this date, July 23rd.
All right, congratulations. That's great. And I know you'll be forwarding that to the team.
So what I can do is I emailed a copy to Denise, and what I can drop off the certificate. I can slide it under the door.
Yeah, and our team will take care of getting that to the Kolmac team.
Okay.
So please thank Senator Cardin for us. We really appreciate it.
Will do.
And to the Kolmac team, we are excited that you are a member of the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. You are a membership of well over 600 other businesses within our chamber family. And we believe in chamber first. So any way that we can get the word out about your business, we do that. We provide 3 services for you. As I mentioned to Dr. Kolodner, we provide high level of advocacy, and Jared knows that. We've worked with him and the team on the national level. We also provide then connection. So we have pretty much every bank in Prince George's County as a member of the chamber. So to the extent that there's a need of financing or capital support, we're there to help you make those connections. We have other hospitals like Adventist Hospital, Kaiser Permanente, Care First, and others. Doctors Hospital are members of the chamber. And then we provide information, what's going on in the county. And so we want you to know that you are part of a significant team. We also have reach throughout the region. I'm on the Board of Trade, COVID Task Force, as well as other regional associations that we have. And right now, we are one of the top business organizations as recognized by the Washington Business Journal in the region. And so we want to let you know that your membership, we intend will bring outstanding value. And so thank you for your membership. We have a certificate of membership for you for the Kolmac Outpatient Recovery Team. In recognition of your valuable membership with the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce, we award you the certificate for February 2020 to February 2021, and we will be delivering that in person to you and Jennifer. We want you to hold that in high regard, given that you are a native of Prince George's County, and so we want you to hold that in high regard, and we are delighted to send this to you, and thank you for your membership in the county.
Thank you, David.
Chamber.
And I just want to thank Denise and Shaka. They've been wonderful to work with. You guys have been nothing but open arms, and I can say one of the best organizations I've worked with in terms of chambers. So thank you so much. And again, thank you to all our distinguished guests again today.
Oh, thanks, Jennifer. We really appreciate that. And certainly we will be the best organization that you have dealt with in helping you grow your business. And now it's time for the ribbon cutting. So I'm going to turn it over to Denise for that. But before I do that, I just wanted to thank DCL Angie Rogers for being on, Councilmember Jolene Ivy, President and CEO of the Economic Development Corporation, David Iannucci, Jared, of course, from Senator Ben Cardin's office, and also, I know he's not here, but want to give acknowledgement to Senator Chris Van Hollen for joining us today. Dr. Kalodner, thank you for your remarks, and Dr. Shaw, thank you for the work that you're doing in the health department, and Jennifer, really appreciate your leadership and friendship, and Greg Franklin, just want to acknowledge you as well. So Denise, I'm going to turn it over to you for the ribbon cutting.
Yes, I think this is going to be an adventure joint with Jennifer. But first, I would like to just acknowledge Gregory Franklin, Greg, who is the clinical director for Kolmac. So Greg, we certainly welcome you, and Jared and I, actually Jared, we will get your information and we'll drop by and just say hello to you and deliver your certificate, okay? And Jennifer, if you see behind her, she has this beautiful blue ribbon, which is as we virtually do this, and thank you. On the count of three, Jennifer. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, Jennifer!
Yay. Congratulations! Yay. Congratulations!
And all right, we appreciate it, Jennifer.
Yes, thank you.
Now, did you have those big scissors when you cut that ribbon?
Yes, I did.
Oh, well, so when COVID is over, we got to get you the big chamber scissors.
Yes.
The blue ribbon, and then cut it open. How's that sound?
Yes, we'll have a big celebration in our clinic.
All right, and love to visit you as well. Do a tour of the clinic as well. So I believe that this concludes then the ribbon cutting. Again, welcome you to Prince George's, and look forward to serving you as a chamber, but also look forward to you serving the citizens of Prince George's in helping us build a robust healthcare need. And so we thank you for all that. Gregory, thank you for your work with the technology. Really appreciate you. And I thought it went very, very smoothly. I also want to thank my team, Denise Staples and Shaka Reed, for all their assistance in all this. And this is our first. Kolmac is in the history of the chamber. This is the first virtual ribbon cutting that we've had. And so you are now in the annals of our 80-some yard history of Prince George's, that you are the first to have a virtual ribbon cutting. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I believe this concludes our ceremony, and we really appreciate you. And everyone be safe and be well. And thank you for your membership in the Prince George's Chamber of Commerce. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
See you all. Take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Jared.
Thank you so much for having us.
Really appreciate you.
Thank you all.
Latrice, thank you. Thank you, Latrice.
Thank you
all
so
for your hard
You
work.
over there. Thanks for everybody.
Thanks, Denise. Thanks, Mike.